I'd say I understand Marvin the Martian, but I still really don't. He was the first character I ever unlocked in this game. This was back before you could go and you could select any fighter in the range. And it was also back before I knew how hard and how long it took to unlock fighters. So I was just like, fuck it, you know, Marvin the Martian, he looks like a silly little guy. And I did read in his passive that he can walk while crouched. And I was like, that sounds silly. You know, I've played Gizmo a decent amount. Stop, I know. And he feels way more like an assassin than Marvin does. He feels like a mage, don't get me wrong. I'm not mad with Gizmo being a mage. He's got his bow, he's got his car. You definitely play around those a lot, but when they're not up, you can still go in and fuck them up with your aerials and shit like that, you know? Like, his up air is an amazing kill move, whereas Marvin, I feel like I'm chilling the whole time. Like, I'm always waiting for cooldowns. Always waiting for cooldowns. And for the longest time, I just didn't understand how to play him because I thought it was an assassin. But you have characters like Steven Universe, right? He's the only character in the game who's a hybrid. He's a mage tank. I wouldn't even say Marvin is a mage assassin. I would say he's a mage. And feel free to let me know if I'm wrong about this, right? Because I do not have the most time with Marvin. I'm seriously putting this video out to be like, what the fuck is he about? Because even though I've gotten some cool clips with him and I understand how he works a little bit, I still don't really know what he's about. I mean, by far the coolest thing about him is the fact he can reverse all his projectiles, but for the longest time I still was ass at that because it doesn't reverse, it reverses their horizontal momentum. But even still, you can reverse your rocket, you can reverse your bubble, you can bubble your rocket, like you can reverse all these things. People just do not see it coming. And his down air, that feels super strong. It can break armor too. His up air, it doesn't kill as early as you'd want, but you can gimp people like really high off the stage with it. And then his bubble is interesting because it can capture all his other projectiles and makes them last longer. Then you can reverse them, but then you can also fire little bubbles, and that's kind of like, I'm a big fan of that. With Stripe, you throw out his little saw blade, and then when you don't have a saw blade, he punches. And I'm a big fan of having different interactions when your cooldown is off. And with the little bubble, you can kind of combo that a little bit too. Like, there's a lot of cool things I like about him, but on the whole, I just don't understand him, and right now, I just don't think he's as good as any of the other assassins. So, until I see a cracked ass Marvin, every time I go up against him, I'm kind of like, I'm not that scared.